Good morning, Fanatics, and welcome to Flow with the Markets Wednesday. It's 17th of January, Wednesday, as I say. Of course, we're going to just jump into the markets right now, see what happened on Monday and Tuesday, and how we can potentially flow with the market, what kind of new price action we have, and of course, what we could expect for the rest of the week. You know, this video, I go a little bit faster. There are no transitions, there are no anything. So I actually included this little thing right there. It was a suggestion from member, for which I thank you. If it's actually too slow, let me know to increase it. So without further ado, let's see what are we having for this week so far. All right, so again, guys, make sure to always monitor your news. So today, this morning, we had CPI for the pound, and we're already seeing, for example, GBPUSD and the rest of the pound pairs making a very big move. Later today, we're having retail sales for the US paired with a speech from Lagarde. So EURUSD could be interesting. And then tomorrow, we have some Aussie news, some USD news, some Euro news as well. So pretty nice. And on Friday, actually, we have some retail sales for the pound. So London session will be very interesting for GU on Friday. So again, make sure to also start framing your setups according to news. Now, very interesting development on the DXY. Again, we spoke about those two weekly imbalances right there, and we were like, okay, is the bearish going to hold and push price down, or are we going to tap into the bullish and start pushing higher? Well, again, you can see neither happened. We just opened, little wick to the downside, and right now we are popping into the highs, which gives us a little bit more of a kind of sentiment, gives us a little bit more of a bias. So let's go to explore it on the daily. Now, what I was telling you well, not for a very long time, but pretty much for 2 weeks, I believe. Let's wait for that daily consolidation to be broken and for us to have like a clear push away from it. And there we have it. So here we had on Monday, the market kind of starting to pop up a little bit, and then pretty much it was Tuesday, massive expansion higher. Also, very important thing is that it created a bullish imbalance right there, but like the third candle was very, very, very big, so I don't really expect something like that to happen. Of course, we have this gap right there, which is not very good. That is going to get filled at some point in time. Again, is it going to happen immediately? Is it going to happen after a month? We do not know. But right now, what we have is once again potentially a creation of a new imbalance right there. So personally, what I think today is, just to start with this, is that today is not a very high probability day, because we had like yesterday's push, and right now Wednesday is taking out the previous daily high in this case, and it's taking out the previous daily low in the majority of the pairs we're going to be looking at right now, and potentially to start rejecting to actually form this potential daily imbalance right there. So what I would like to do, what my strategy is for today, is to wait for that candle to close, and then tomorrow and on Friday, potentially supported by news, to have a tap into that daily imbalance, and then to potentially see for a potential expansion on Thursday and Friday for another push higher. Now, what I can potentially conclude for the dollar is that if the weekly imbalances are failing, and if we're actually getting right now a little bit more of a bullish order flow right now, then I would expect that potentially this monthly imbalance could be our target. So as you can see, as we allow price to develop, we start getting a little bit more of a cleaner bias. And of course, if I start seeing these daily imbalances being respected, and of course the hourly time frame getting a little bit more cleaner, because it's still a little bit messy. I mean, yeah, I definitely prefer the daily right now, because the hourly, like, yeah, it just popped up yesterday. There is nothing to work with on the FOH, which is again something that I don't like. So if I don't have anything to work with on the 4-hourly time frame, I'm just gonna wait for the daily time frame to form. Then tomorrow, give me that pullback, and then potentially I'm gonna be looking for longs. So this is my DXY outlook. So far, I am more bullish. Of course, it depends on news, because we have retail sales today, we have news tomorrow, and we have news on Friday for the dollar. But I would definitely love for the market to continue going bullish in this case. So what does that mean? If we are bullish on the dollar, then we should be bearish on, of course, on all the major pairs. And yeah, there we go. EURUSD taking out the previous weekly low, which is what I marked right there, potentially expecting it to be acting as a potential draw on liquidity. Now, again, where is the next one? Where are we going next? Well, we always have scenarios, right? We either push, pullback, and right now we're about to continue higher, or we're going to be going all the way down to that monthly imbalance. It's very small. I definitely don't like it. I don't think we're going to go all the way down, But is it? It's possible, right? It's possible. So right now the weekly time frame is giving us a nice bearish candle, and you can see finally after how many days? After 12, 8 bars. So that is 8 after 8 trading days. We're finally made a little bit of a pop up to the down, pop down to the downside. And again, you can see right now it's day 3. It's the third candle to potentially create that daily bearish imbalance right there. So again, as I'm telling you, if I go to the forward time frame right now, there is not much to work with apart from this forward imbalance that is not being retested. So you can potentially trade into it. So for example, what we have right now is the previous daily low being swept, and you're having a 15-minute time frame aligning bullish right there. So if I wanted to intraday trade this, I would be looking for a long trade right now. Again, like overall, I would look potentially at this overall sell to buy before that push, but we already tapped into it right there for a quick tap and pushed away from it. So yeah, anywhere within right there could be a potential long entry. However, do I think it's high probability? Well, not really, because after that bearish introduction yesterday, I don't just want to come in today and say, okay, well, reversals immediately. I would personally want to get a little bit more signs. And again, as I told you, this year for me, it's all about high probability setups with the higher time frames. Because again, I found out from my reflection that all of my, well, not all of my losses, but 90% of my losses were losses because I didn't have any kind of hard time frame context. I was just probably trading with consolidations like this. And that is when you take the majority of your losses. So again, as I keep saying, knowing when to step away is actually a big key. So again, on the daily time frame here, I'm looking for that daily candle to close today. So today I'm chilling, right? Today I'm chilling. Tomorrow to potentially tap inside here. And then I'm going to be looking for lower time frame confirmations. And then of course for targets, I'm going to be targeting then the previous daily low potentially right there, this low that could form. And then of course, like a long-term target will be that monthly imbalance. However, I'm not really going to go all the way down there. So again, be sure to to take profits quickly. And as for today, there is a potential long scenario. You can see on the hourly time frame, there is no commitment. There is no like clear push. 15-minute time frame, as we're going to see GU is already here. EU is very weak, not good. So again, I don't want to trade it. And we don't also have Euro news all the way until New York. Look at EURJPY. So I am also starting to trade a little bit more pairs right now, because as you start paying more attention to the hard time frames, you can even look at a couple more pairs. And like for example, this week I regret not looking at GJ and EJ, because look at that, perfect imbalance. Friday coming into the imbalance, and then pretty much two beautiful bullish days getting us into that daily high right there. Absolutely beautiful. And again, we had potential two scenarios. The bearish scenario was mainly because we were tapping inside the weekly imbalance, right? And if this imbalance here on the fall got respected to potentially create a new one, I would have gone short. But then of course, if we start having bullish imbalances from there, which we got, then we go long. So there is the long scenario playing out. And of course, like you could potentially look to enter from somewhere right here, but then it got a little bit choppy. So again, it's 50-50 whether you get an entry, but I'm very happy to see it actually playing out. Now, once again, on the daily time frame, we have reached the target. So these two are no longer relevant. That, of course, can potentially later become liquidity. On the daily time frame, we don't have imbalance yet. We are potentially making one today on the daily. And then, of course, on the 40 time frame, we're just rampaging to the upside right now. So again, it's not very high probability to be looking for, again, for shorts, because you're going to be shorting a pretty bullish market. Doesn't make a lot of sense. And on the 40 time frame, we do not have good positioning. You don't want to go long at a higher high. You want to go long at a higher low. So again, I would also on EJ, it does not make a lot of sense for EU to be so bearish and EJ to be bullish. That is not very nice. Usually that is because of the yen, of course. But personally, what I'm going to be looking for in EJ is either a daily pullback tomorrow to give me a very nice little pullback right there towards like overall this area right there and the daily imbalance. And of course, for the 40 time frame to actually position itself into a higher low, 15-minute trend change in the morning, and there we go. So that is my outlook on EURJPY. Bullish bias, but today I don't think it's the best day. Wait for that pullback and then you go in. Look at Aussie dollar. Beautiful. So again, it was not clear, absolutely not clear when we started the week. So there is on Friday, we just had this Monday push down, Tuesday massive, and Wednesday even more massive. Just trades going into that monthly imbalance. And I took a beautiful trade on Australian Canadian dollar, again just using news, knowing that the Canadian pairs are going to move, knowing that there is a lot of volatility on the Aussie. So I took a 2R yesterday, my first risk trade for the year. So yeah, you can see here, guys, we are getting some clear sentiment. You can see even on the weekly time frame, we had this imbalance up, imbalance down. That immediately told me bearishness, right? But then of course, as dropped to the daily time frame, very choppy. But right now, we're getting some pretty clear price action, because you also have like this daily imbalance created. But again, like with imbalances, the thing is, depending on how the third candle forms, you cannot really wait for something like this. Doesn't make a lot of sense after this massive bearish candle to have a big bullish one. So then of course you have to consult the lower time frames. And again, you can see in this case, the first imbalance was right there, tapped in, and we just dumped. Again, creating a brand new one. So that is what I mean, guys, by wait for the market to show you what it wants to do. Right now, it's clearly bearish, and we have pretty clear targets. That monthly zone right there, paired with, of course, these lows right here. So, I mean, right now, it's probably not a very good time to enter, because the market is a little bit expanded once again, making a lower low, not very good positioning. So again, what I would prefer to wait for right now is for the hourly time frame to pull back, potentially to this zone, and then to target lower. That's it. Very nice, very simple. Aussie dollar bearish. And again, you can see, because Aussie dollar is absolutely crushing the floor, AJ is supposed to be going bullish, because then you saw Euro Yen is going bullish. So if the Aussie is very weak, and if also the Yen is also very weak overall, then you get a consolidation. So again, this is a pair that I don't want to trade. We don't have much happening right there. You can see my forecast pretty much remains the same. I can just move it right there, exactly the same place. So again, I'm just going to skip this pair. There is no reason for me to waste time here. NZDUSD, again, this is mainly calls for the dollar going bullish, and of course Aussie and NZD overall being pretty weak. And we can see a very nice expansion lower on those pairs. Finally, some move. Again, the daily imbalance started, but very big. Right now, we have a second daily imbalance to be created, but also it's going to be potentially very big. And we can be looking to short this pair towards this monthly zone. That is pretty much the overall outlook for the Aussies and the NZDs. Again, on the 4-hourly time frame, same setup. Here we had it as well. For example, on Monday, we created this imbalance. On Tuesday, we came in, pinged right there, took out the highs. Go and explore here how you could have entered. Unfortunately, why I do believe I'm not going to be looking at Aussie and NZD pairs is because they, a lot of times when there is a move, the move is going to happen in Asia. Rarely it's going to move. Like if it actually moves in London, I mean, go and explore it. If it moves in London or New York, it's tricky. So most likely, I'm not going to be looking a lot at NZD and Aussie pairs. Aussie, I've spotted it moves a little bit better in London. But NZD, I'm not really sure. So once again, right now, we have this imbalance right there. We have this overall higher time frame supply right there. Very good. Again, just keeping it simple like this, looking for some sort of a pullback, lower high formation, and then going lower. And again, as of right now, it's just going to be taking out the Asian low. It's not in a very good position to be looking for shorts. You don't have any confluences and confirmations for longs. Don't force it. Wait for the pullback. Wait for your lower time frame confirmation, and then go short with that beautiful momentum. Because right now it's potentially the time, if you're an Asian session trader, beautiful pair to be trading right now. Namely Aussie USD, NZDUSD, they move great. And again, you can see NZDUSD is flushing, NZDJPY is chopping. So I'm not interested here. Not gonna trade. It's still bullish overall. You can see that daily zone is still holding, but it keeps digging deeper and deeper and deeper. And on the 4-hourly time frame, we have absolute chop right there. So I'm skipping. There's no reason to stay here. Now here is why. Again, USDJPY massively bullish. So that does not necessarily mean that the JPY is weak, because right now the USD is very strong. So of course it makes sense for USDN to go up, and that of course tries to push the JPY pairs higher. But of course, this is why I don't like JPYs overall, because USDJPY is up, DXY is up, right? So for example, then these pairs are gonna chop around, because if the DXY is going up, then of course Aussie USD is gonna go down. But if again, then if the Aussie is weak, but also the JPY is weak, then you don't get the JPYs to move, right? I hope you get the thought process behind this. So if you want to trade a JPY, then probably USDJPY could be a very good choice. And yeah, you can see here we had on the daily time frame. That is, I do believe this one has been pretty good to trade, because since we have this trend change on the daily, forming with imbalance, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. That is clear. That is clear. And we had this daily imbalance. The market is just rocking into the highs right now, potentially to create a new one today. Of course, we have to wait for the daily candle to close. We have a new structure break. So pretty good for longs. Actually, how long it's going to push for, I don't know. And again, then of course, if you try to get in, you go to the 40 time frame. But right now, the market is at a higher high. So not a very good positioning to go long. For shorts, again, you have to wait for a clear shift, which again, something that I also plan to stop doing, because why would I right now try to force a trade into the downside when I can just wait for the downside to be tapped and then go with the flow, right? So gonna be very, very simple. I'm gonna be looking for that daily time frame to close today, for the daily candle to close. Evaluate also how the candle closes, because if it pushes all the way up here, right, then it's not gonna make sense to go like from all the way up there to all the way down there. Then I'm gonna work with the quality time frame, knowing that the daily is pretty much nicely pushing higher. So that is enough for us. The daily is up. The weekly time frame is also up, because we have this weekly imbalance that suggests strength. Of course, where could potentially be the next target? Well, it looks like it's that one on the weekly. Daily time frame, yeah, you can start picking all of these highs to the left, because again, yeah, this high got taken, could get a rejection. This high could get taken, we can get a rejection. That is the most recent one. You can refine it a little bit. But for now, I'm going to say bullish. And of course, that depends whether the dollar's bullishness is going to sustain. But very simple outlook today in terms of the daily, looking for something like this. I would even prefer it a little bit lower. That's UJ. GU is very interesting right now. Again, this is the same I've been telling you today. Today is the third day of a potential imbalance being created. So I want to wait out on that. So I want to see this one to form right there. I do not want to see GU to trade above this line, because if it trades above this line, there's not going to be an imbalance to work with, and that invalidates the short idea. I really do like yesterday's drop. I just want to see it sustain. I don't want to see like a quick reversal right now, because if we get that daily imbalance lower, that is going to make a clear way for the market to pull back to that weekly zone right there, right? And I do believe this weekly zone is very strong, because it's coming in from a bearish imbalance to a bullish one, which suggests reversal. And then, of course, we have two very clear targets on the monthly. So if this week and next week and even this month gives us a pullback, then the next bullish months that are to come in could be very nice. So right now, again, you could drop to a lower time frame. Again, you can see on the quality time frame, we had this very little tiny imbalance that got tapped yesterday, but it didn't really offer a clear trading idea. So right now, again, I'm just looking for that daily candle to close and then potentially trade it tomorrow. Right now, we're already popping up because we had CPI this morning. And again, you can see this is a very nice textbook setup. My Asian range here looks like it's wrong, but I'm going to keep it. Yeah, it's wrong. I have to change this one. I probably have to change the time like this. It's gonna go better. Yep, there it is. This is the proper Asian range. We took out the low of the Asian range low, and then we had the CPI here at 9 o'clock, and then we just whoop, massively went higher. Again, like potentially that could be target, but for me, always the Asian high is a pretty good target, because if you target all these highs to the left right now, if you're running a very beautiful long trade, you might get this. So again, don't be greedy. And yeah, I'm not touching the pounds today. I mean, the hourly time frame is going to form with a beautiful imbalance right now. You could look to take a long trade if you're feeling risky. But again, why would I try to trade bullish when I can just wait one day to see how it forms? And then tomorrow, after that daily imbalance closes, I'm going to be looking for the market to tap in, give me shorts, and then I'm going to get a big trade. So that is my outlook on GU. If you want to be on the aggressive side, then wait potentially for that hourly imbalance to form in 3 minutes, and then potentially look for the pullback, then drop to your 5-minute or the 15-minute, wait for an alignment, and then of course you could target potentially these highs right there. So that is an intraday setup, but I would definitely suggest that we wait for the daily setup, because that is what holds power. Right now the market is already trying to price in for the shorts, so I do really want to jump into that train. Again, this morning we took out this low to the left. That is a very nice daily triple bottom right there, paired with a previous daily low that was taken this morning. So that long trade was pretty good. But trading before the CPI release, I think it's a little bit of a gamble. So yeah, GJ, very nice. Like look at that, like crazy, nice. So we have here on the daily that imbalance, we tap in, and right now we're just continuing to go higher. So pretty much, yeah, we have a brand new daily structure break right there, and we do form a little bit of an imbalance right there, which is good, but it's very far away. So if you want to get into a trade, we have to refer to the lower time frames, in this case the hourly. But yeah, with the CPI, we just massively pushed higher, so I'm afraid to say, but there is not going to be a trade on GJ right now. Impulse massively into the highs. Don't take shorts. It doesn't make any sense. Don't take longs. You gotta wait for a pullback. So I'm just waiting on this one. Again, waiting maybe even for the day to close, for the market to start pulling back, to get in a good positioning. I have to make a video on price positioning because that has been also a very big key for me. What I mean by positioning is, again, where is just price on the graph overall? Because a lot of times you try to trade from here. Well, where is price? It's high. Because if you zoom in on the overall graph, well, the market pushed, you're trading from here. Well, no, you want to wait for the pullback. That is good positioning right there. That is potentially retesting a daily imbalance, pulling back close to the 50% right there. That is good positioning. And a lot of also my mistakes last year was just bad positioning, both on every single time frame. Positioning is on every single time frame, even on the 15-minute, right? A lot of times, for example, I used to take, let's say, shorts like this. Not a clean example, but the market has been pushing, and then yes, this is the last valid range, and you try to take a short, and then the market reverses. Why? Well, bad positioning. You're still at a lower low. Wait for the lower high, and then look for the short, right? So that is GJ. Overall bullish bias, but again, we need to have some bias to go from, some, not bias necessary, but a zone to go trade from. So I'm looking for something to form. Even on the hourly time frame, a nice hourly imbalance would be good, and then to potentially look to long. Nothing so far. USD CAT also looks pretty good. Yeah, oh, looks nice. We have some Canadian nice news. USD franc up. Gold is, I mean, it's tricky. I have a couple of scenarios right there, but nothing really played out. I was expecting a pullback and then a high, but the market opened, didn't take out the high. Right now it's just dropping lower. Strange. Do we have something on the daily? Let me delete all that. Well, look at this. Like, gold again is potentially to change narrative once again. Like you can see, we wanted to push up. There wasn't really any imbalance. There was a tiny one, but right now, yesterday, massive drop, shift of the sentiment, and right now this becomes our liquidity target. So if today's candle closes like this with an imbalance, then tomorrow I'm going to be looking for shorts. Right now on the 4-hourly time frame, again, you can see we have like this push up, but then we have this massive push down. You don't potentially want to trade from this zone. Because again, like, yeah, if the market was going to go higher, should have corrected and go higher. It shouldn't have done this. So just logic. So again, I am starting to step away from my long bias on gold and getting into more shorts. Like, again, this is the flow. I could say that I'm long on Sunday, but on Tuesday, I'm already short. So short bias on gold, and again, I would prefer right now for Wednesday to pass on all the pairs to actually see if that Tuesday bearishness can get sustained. Because usually, again, after a push, you get a stop, and then you get a push. So again, today, I do believe is that stop day, that third day. So let it stop, then let tomorrow actually give you the second expansion. Of course, sometimes it just keeps going, right? Doesn't always happen like this, but it's all about probability. So if this daily zone forms today on gold, tomorrow I would definitely be looking for some sort of shorts. Not necessarily from this daily zone. I could also be looking for some hourly zones because we have like a hourly valid range forming right now. But again, is it going to stay all the way up until tomorrow? We'll see. But I'm telling you, gold overall looking bearish right now. Indices are also starting to shift a little bit bearish. You can see US30 is making its way towards that the weekly zone on the daily time frame. Today, once again, potentially we can have an imbalance that we can trade off of tomorrow. And then yesterday was, I'm not looking at indices right now. I was just observing SPX yesterday, which was pretty good. So once again, I'm not even going to go to the hourly. So you're going to be seeing me more stay on the higher time frames going forward. there is a daily zone, waiting for that to form, waiting for that to tap, and then targeting the weekly zone. Nice and simple setup. Nasdaq yesterday, you can see Nasdaq is actually the only index that didn't really print a bearish candle, so it means that the tech stocks are still strong. Today is gonna be potentially bearish, but doesn't tell me a lot. Then dropping onto the hourly time frame, I do believe this one is still staying in a consolidation, so I'm not really interested to touch Nasdaq right now. So again, I'm not even gonna go forward with it because I'm not interested. And here is SPX. This is an index that I'm more interested in. On the weekly time frame, unlike Nasdaq, we took out the weekly time frame liquidity. And if the market right now doesn't continue going higher, then that could potentially mean we could be going for the previous weekly low or even this low right there. How do we know that we're going to get there is by potentially an order flow shift on the lower time frames. Like on the daily time frame right now, what I do like about SPX is that it's the only one that formed this very little imbalance right there. But I love seeing one because that's again suggests strength in the market. Today is also looking pretty bearish, so let's see if that sustains. And yesterday it actually had a pretty nice setup, a nice push to the downside. Again, you can see this one is overall following through from no, this was on Nasdaq, not on this one. This one has a strange, oh, this is Oanda. I shouldn't be on Oanda. Okay, I'm gonna change it for next time because there was an imbalance right there. While this candle doesn't have it. There was an imbalance right there, the market reacting, and then yesterday the market made imbalances on the way lower, tapped in, and right now it's continuing to follow through, making another bearish structure break and also making right now another forward imbalance. So again, like today, we could trade into that, maybe give a reaction, but then yeah, we have to see how the daily candle is going to close today, which is going to be again forming this daily imbalance, but I'm not going to be expecting from all the way down there to trade all the way up there. So potentially today and even tomorrow, I could be flowing with the hourly and then potentially targeting this daily old one. So that one is an old one. I just use this for potentially where the market could go. So I'm just going to put a line like this. And then as we start pushing below it, then of course we can start targeting even lower. So that is SPX. I'm having a little bit more of a bearish bias right there. It's already giving a nice setup. It's already confirming order flow by, for example, yesterday, respecting this. And right now we're having a bearish structure, bearish order flow, so good, high probability for shorts. So today, let's see if we get a short. And yeah, pretty much that's it, guys. Again, just to recap, I am looking for that daily candle to close today, mainly for Forex, like because I mainly trade EU and GU. I'm looking for that daily candle to close on EU. I'm looking for that daily candle to close on GU as well, so that it can form potentially that daily imbalance, and then I can potentially look to take a short with a clear target towards that monthly zone. So that is my high probability trade idea for the rest of the week. Of course, JPYs, they're not all good. Only GJ and EJ are good, right? Because I don't know why, but again, AUDJPY and NZDUSD are pretty choppy. UJ is absolutely bullish, potentially about to take out that daily high right there, and then maybe to give us a retest. So if you get a long opportunity on UJ, that's going to be pretty good. But first, you do need some sort of a area of interest, right? Gold shifting more towards the bearish side. So again, that depends on the dollar. So if the dollar has a lot of space towards that monthly zone, then I do believe we can be taking right now a lot of longs on the dollar, which means a lot of shorts on EU, GU, gold, and of course, all the majors. So that's it for right now. Let me know how you guys are doing so far. Are you loving the momentum? Please don't go FOMO, because at times like this, when you see some very big price action and candles printing, you can definitely go FOMO. Try to get involved. And like yesterday, for example, you open your charts and you're like, wow, like look at these candles. I have to get involved. No, wait. This is just showing us right now the bias. The trade is going to come. This is giving us the footprint that potentially somebody sold right there. So again, right now, we just have to make sure that they keep selling and that this is not a manipulation. So again, be patient, wait. It's still January. The big trades are going to happen in February and going forward, right? So be patient, all right? So that's from me. Let me know in the comments how you're developing so far and how you're progressing this week. What are your favorite setups? And I'm going to talk to you on Saturday.